The continuing tragic saga, in a sense, that is Rudy Giuliani's complete implosion of his political and professional career continues. Rudy Giuliani is now suing President Joe Biden for calling him a Russian pawn. There's a CNN report about this. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani filed a defamation lawsuit against Biden for calling him a Russian pawn during a presidential debate nearly 3 years ago. Giuliani announced the lawsuit at a rambling press conference outside a courthouse in New Hampshire, where he filed in order to take advantage of the state's defamation laws. He reiterated several attacks against Biden and his son Hunter, though he's only suing Joe Biden, despite the high bar for statements by public figures in a political setting to be found defamatory. So calling this a rambling press conference is an understatement. Understand that even conceptually, as we've talked about before, when you're talking about defamation, generally, it can be different depending on the state. But generally, you need to demonstrate a number of elements. One, that the statements that were made were untrue. Two, that they were made in a public setting and communicated to a third party. And three, that they actually damaged your reputation or career or life materially. It's very difficult to imagine that Joe Biden's comments about Rudy 3 years ago could be demonstrated to have materially harmed Rudy, particularly when he did so many things to harm himself. But regardless, here's Rudy Giuliani, sort of confused, explaining, I guess, what he's doing.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill, very, very much. He's our counsel in the state of New Hampshire. And Lou is my counsel overall because there are going to be a lot of implications from this case, as you can tell. It has a great deal of room for expansion because a lot of people helped Joe Biden with this terrible lie that he told. Joe Biden has spent his life telling lies, getting away with it. Now he gets away with it because you let him get away with it. You foisted on us, I mean the press, an American president who is a pathological liar. That has implications for national security. As a result of Joe Biden's lies, people have died.
I don't know what he's talking about there.
Would there be a war in Ukraine if Donald Trump were president? Absolutely.
By the way, what this has to do with defamatory alleged statements against Rudy, obviously we're already off track.
Not. Putin invaded Ukraine and Georgia 3 times. One time with Biden, one time with Obama, one time with Bush. Only time he didn't, Trump was the president. Afghanistan. So in some ways, the damage done to me is less severe. He didn't get me killed, although there have been death threats.
Right.
His lies cost me a good deal of my law practice.
Now, remember, what caused this is, they claim to be the party of personal responsibility. What cost Ludi, that's actually not bad. He did loot. What cost Rudy much of his law practice was that he pursued obviously ridiculous claims about the 2020 election in court, associated himself with people like Sidney Powell and Jenna Ellis, humiliated himself in an incredible manner day after day after day. That's why he lost a bunch of the law practice, not because of Joe Biden and whatever Biden said in a debate years ago.
It cost me directly a good deal of my million-person audience on Common Sense, where I was cut off by YouTube, which operates as a co-conspirator in another conspiracy of Biden's.
All right, so this is 16 minutes long. As you can see, this is only even tangentially related to the claims of defamation. The one other interesting moment I did want to zoom in on is Rudy Giuliani angrily denies his alcoholism here. And, the alcoholism stuff, we're talking about a disease. We're not making fun of anybody's alcoholism. And oftentimes people who are alcoholics deny it. It's relatively well sourced that when Trump was still in office and Rudy was his attorney, there was an effort made to put Rudy on TV in the morning rather than at night, because it was less likely that Rudy would have been drinking in the morning And often the nighttime appearances, the 8, 9, 10 p.m. appearances on Fox News would happen after Rudy went out to dinner and had too much to drink. So it's quite well sourced, but here is Rudy angrily denying it.
Thank you, everybody.
It's a typical New York Times malicious lie. I do not have an alcohol problem. I have never had an alcohol problem. And the reason I told you what I achieved is nobody could have achieved that if they did. When the hell was I drinking? I was working 24 hours a day. It's a big damn lie by a newspaper that's a disgrace and by a reporter who covered me, used to cover me very, very...
Now, whoever is to Rudy's right tries to rap because this is going off the rails, and Rudy says it's my press conference.
In a very glowing way, and now is vicious and mean in what she does.
Thank you.
And it's my press conference.
What a mess.
Vicious and mean. And if it weren't for the protections that the press gets with Times Against Sullivan, I mean, she should be sued for libel. She should also be thrown out of the profession for being a damn liar.
Right.
That's okay.
All right. So Rudy denies the alcoholism. I mean, listen, it's quite well sourced. Alcoholism is a disease, and it's a very sad state of affairs. My prediction, Rudy doesn't get even a single dollar in damages from this entire farce. If you sit all day long while you work and you've never tried a desk that can transition between sitting and standing, it really is a game changer. I've had an uplift desk for a while. I use it every day to record the show, prepare for the show, do my office work. I'm sitting at an uplift desk at this very moment, and I've been using uplift desks for many years. We wanted them to be a sponsor, and we finally were able to make it happen. Standing while I work helps me get the creative juices flowing. I feel more productive. I'm focused. I'm more alert. And it's also healthier. I'm just moving around more. My circulation is better, which is just good for your health. I use the uplift standing desks because they don't wobble. Totally stable, even with all of my show equipment on them. The build quality is just tremendous. And you can completely customize the desk by choosing from over 100 desktop choices, hundreds of accessories. I have a whole bunch of them, including a USB hub and a keyboard tray and all sorts of things. They have free shipping, free returns, free return shipping, and an industry-leading 15-year warranty. My audience gets 5% off when you go to upliftdesk.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman. The link is down below.